Okay, in the last video I mentioned a little bit about paths and what they are. I didn't go into very much detail about them, but I said I would make another little video about it, and here is that video. We'll go ahead and start out with this little flashlight again. It's actually very easy to understand. It's got a lot of contrast in there, so it's easy to use. If I go over to the paths panel, remember how I use the pen tool to create paths, and as you see that I'm starting to create a little path there. It creates a little work path. Now I already have a path saved that I had selected. I selected this already once, and if you can see the little, I zoomed in so you can see the little line around there. I just made a little rough selection with it, and so what other things we can do with paths? Let me back out here a little bit. Paths are very great to use. As we can make a selection out of this path like you saw before and hit OK. You can actually convert that selection back to a path just like that. And let me get rid of this path now because now it's in the way. Saving the path, so this is just our work path. This is kind of the path that we're kind of just working on. And so now both of my little selections are all in there, and every time I create it, it just basically stays on this quote-unquote layer. So if I undo these and get rid of all these little paths, we can actually save this path by just dragging it down to the new path icon, and you let go. So that creates path 1. So actually now when I start creating another path, it doesn't work. So let me back out of this a little bit more. I want to save this path so we can actually create a new path and start going from there. So that's kind of how you create paths. Now you can also do other effects to paths, like you can stroke the path. You can apply a stroke to it, and what that bases it off of is the brush tool. So if I go over to the brush tool, and I'm going to get rid of this path here. If I go over to the brush tool, and let's say I want to make it about an 8 point and something like that, and we'll create it on a new layer because everything needs to be on a new layer, and we'll actually unlock that layer. And I already kind of, but that is what our brush tool currently looks like. So we'll close that, and I'll open it to a more contrasting color so you can see. So a hot pink, we'll put a hot pink stroke around this. So on our new layer, make sure you have new layer selected. You go to Paths tab and select our path that we have. If you deselect that path, that little line kind of goes away. But if I select it again, there we have it. And then if I hit stroke that path, now we have a hot pink outline. If you click off that, and it leaves that hot pink outline on the outside. So that's very handy, very cool. I guess if you like pink, that's very cool. So we'll close out of that. Also, you can fill the path. So you can take the hot pink color or whatever your foreground color is and click fill, and then it fills whatever's inside that path if I unselect it. So now we have a hot pink, basically a hot pink flashlight again filled. So, and if you want to get cool with it, remember how I talked about the layers again. Here's a little tidbit. If we go to the layer mode and switch that over to multiplier or something like that, now you can change the color very easily of your flashlight. So that's just kind of a little extra right there, but that's just one of the ideas of doing this, that you can play with it. So like I said, there's tons of things you can do with layers and how they work. So just get in there and play with it, and so that's a little bit about paths. On to the next video.